I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. It's Wednesday. All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show, where you hear both sides. 710 KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460, FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All right, we are diving into the State of the Union. What an evening. 1 hour, 48 minutes of just pro-America, America first. Oh, it was beautiful. Not only was the speech amazing, not only was Donald Trump pinning down the Democrats and showing how they're always criminals first, the patriotism that was generated that night with the boys first coming in, the hockey boys, that was so awesome. You gotta love that. I think the girls hockey team missed out by not attending State of the Union. They should have done that.
Where were the seats? I know that was a scramble yesterday because those seats.
There were no seats. They just walked in and left. That's
I know,
basically what they had to do.
The idea is with the girls that where to put them. The idea is, they just walked in, they came out, and they left. It's like, yeah, do you want to show up for that? It was fun, but yeah, that was the problem is you couldn't. There were no seats for them. But I think it was better just to come in there and leave. If I could come in there, wave, and leave, I'd go to the State of the Union. I don't want to sit there the whole time.
What's dawning upon the D.C. political establishment is the use of the State of the Union to not just give a speech, but to tell a story, right? And this is taking a guy with television experience to pull this together. But I think you're going to see this continue to develop that way. It's not just the people that we're honoring, but it's the story, it's the production value, it's how it all weaves together. And then you had the family members of Irina, the young lady that was stabbed on the train in North Carolina. That was incredibly powerful. The Coast Guard guy that rescued like 100 people and then meeting one of the girls he rescued that night, and the fist bump was so amazing. And then, Bill, the Medals of Honor, the Congressional Medals of Honor, going to the dude that flew the helicopter, got shot 4 times during the Venezuelan battle, and then the veteran. Oh, it was like, we're so past the apologize for America baloney. We've got to just feel terrible about our country's history, all that. We were proud to be Americans. It was on full display. The military was honored. Victims of crimes from illegal immigrants were recognized. The media never does that. They totally paint over that stuff. Erica Kirk being recognized yesterday. That was incredible. Such an incredible evening.
And I'm just going to say, I've never walked away from watching a State of the Union address and gone, that was a productive use of my time. Not a single one. I don't care who's in charge. I've never once had the experience. And this goes all the way back through, including grade school and high school, when I was assigned to watch them, just like Faith, the history teacher, yesterday threw us the bingo card that she had her AP government class use last night during the State of the Union. Never from any of these speeches walked away going, wow, certainly glad I spent my time doing that one. Not a single time. And it includes last night. It's not a politics thing. It's just I find them boring.
And it wasn't just that State of the Union. There were 2 others, essentially. You had the traditional Democrat response that came from the Ice Queen of Virginia, the newly minted governor of Virginia. And then you had this bizarre Democrat anti-State of the Union that included Jason Crow and others. And I just want to play a little contrast, okay? Here's Donald Trump closing moments of his speech.
250 years is a long time in the life of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history. 2 of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July 4th, 1826, the author of the Declaration of Independence, brilliant, Thomas Jefferson, drew his last breath. Just a single long human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight. Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes. In those brief chapters, Americans built this nation from 13 humble colonies into the pinnacle of human civilization and human freedom, the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history.
He goes on to talk about the greatness of our technological advancements, of the culture and arts, of the freedom and prosperity that America has brought to the world. And then over at the Washington Press Club was the State of the Swamp speech, which included Jason Crow and this interesting character.
We're
Bill?
going down to the Black Lives Matter Plaza, and we're singing, Trump was on the Jeffrey Epstein plane. Trump was on the Jeffrey Epstein plane, hey. We're going down to the Black Lives.
It sounds like a wrestling match.
Yeah,
almost,
a little bit.
right?
Now, I don't know if that was the close, but you got to appreciate that the dude doing that is wearing a Joffrey the Giraffe costume. And those sunglasses that I find that are way too big and annoying in your face. Oakley back in the late 90s did these things, and now we've like increased them by 20% and put them on our face and think they look cool. They don't. I'm just saying, they don't.
And then you had frogs. And you had Robert De Niro.
I'm in favor of the frogs. I think that's a great idea.
Jason Crow, Jim Acosta, Eric Swalwell, Mark Ruffalo. They were all there giving their anti-Trump speech. It's 4 hours long. And if you imagine what hell would be like nightmarish, like you're thrown into a room with like the most crazy progressive people out there just venting, just constantly venting their Trump derangement syndrome.
I think for me,
that's what you got there.
I think for me is that if we think that Donald Trump went on too long and the alternative State of the Swamp is twice as long, what are you doing? How do you possibly think that you're going to be interesting and hold attention with stuff like that for 4 hours? Although I do like the frogs. I do like that. I don't think that if I was ever elected to Congress, which will never happen, we all can breathe a sigh of relief on that one. I don't think I'd be allowed to walk in there wearing one of those Tyrannosaurus costumes, because I'd like to do that. Instead of, the normal thing is go to the suit and tie, I'd wear the Tyrannosaurus costume. And if I wasn't, I would do the thing, and this is a throwback here for the Jeff and Bill Show members, I would do what they did with Chicken Man when I met him at the Guinness factory in Ireland.
Yes.
Yes, Chicken Man, he had smuggled in an inflatable chicken costume. This was a hazing event by the rest of the male friends around him for, I don't know what it was for. I didn't care. Yes, I took ridiculous pictures. Lost a bet or something. I have no idea. But dude had to wear a chicken costume in the Guinness brewery, and so he unveils it after we go through the orientation. So he kind of hid it under his pouch, and then kind of all of a sudden became the chicken, and so that's what I would have done. If I'm not allowed to wear it when as I walk in, I'm keeping it with me, and then slowly, boo, there goes the engine, and I'm putting it on, and then I'm in the audience as a Tyrannosaurus. That's what I do. And that's why I would not be allowed.
Classic, and that's why everybody loved Bill Thorpe in high school.
Yes,
all right.
exactly.
We want to hear from you. What did you think of last night's State of the Union? What were your favorite parts? What really connected to you? What was impressive that the president did? Maybe you hated it. Maybe you felt like Trump didn't deliver and didn't answer some of the challenges we're facing in this country. Feel free to give us a call. Phone lines open, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law Text line, 720-819-5115. Now it's time for the news.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Hey, good Wednesday morning, 48 and mostly sunny in Denver, 49 in the Springs, expecting highs in the upper 60s today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning. For a new home heating and cooling system, contact your Lennox dealer, Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at pastorcamp.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Our top story.
These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
Yes, DJT describing Democrats last night after they didn't stand up for, guess what, putting Americans and citizens. First, what's new? Silly drama. During the State of the Union address last night, Congressman Jeff Crank was there representing CD5, of course, and he was on with the fellas this morning.
Yeah, I thought that was one of, frankly, one of his best, most compelling moments is when he did that. And I'm certain that that was very thought out and intentional. I'm sure the president thought to himself, you know, they never stand when you say good things, so why don't I say something good that 98% of the American people would agree with, and let's see what they do. And that's exactly what he did. I thought it was kind of stunning. What was really interesting to me is how long it went. It was kind of an almost uncomfortable moment because it just kind of kept going, and the president just let it go. I don't know how long it went, but several minutes.
Yeah, the address is still interrupted by lefties on several occasions during his remarks on
Can we just
our
talk
country.
real briefly, too, about how this has changed? Because as I was mentioning yesterday, one interruption during the Obama, one person going, "You lie," and it was an entire scandal of the nation.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
He had to go on and apologize and all that stuff. Now it's just back and forth. Like, I was actually impressed that it didn't affect Trump as much because I kept hearing it in the background. You're like,
right?
What is there some lady just yelling throughout this speech?
It sounded like she was in the hallway or something, yelling, screeming, protesters.
Right. I think it was Ilhan Omar or Rashid Tlaib or one of them.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna. I think you're gonna watch the State of the Union continue to become more of this back and forth, highly produced event because the politicos are learning we get a lot of the nation's attention with this. We shouldn't just do a policy speech.
True. I mean, I will give him credit. It does make it a little more interesting. As Billy said, I've never walked away from a State of the Union speech going, oh, that was a productive hour or two.
Well, 3187 texting in, boys, sitting and watching the State of the Union speech isn't supposed to be productive. Next time, unload the dishwasher or just paint your toenails.
True. This is true.
Yeah, but what color do you paint your toenails during that? Is there a theme?
Red, white, and blue.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of curious.
Stripes.
I'm just asking.
Stars and
Inquiring
stripes.
minds. I'm just curious.
I love it. All right, so Tlaib and Omar shouted that you're killing Americans. Let's pray that Americans aren't killed in Iran. Officials in Israel are reportedly preparing for U.S. strikes on Iran as the buildup of American military assets continues in that region ahead of talks set for Thursday.
As the U.S. continues the largest buildup of air power in the Middle East since before the 2003 invasion of Iraq, American F-22 stealth fighter jets have arrived in Israel in a rare deployment. Refueling and cargo planes have also arrived in recent days. The second aircraft carrier sent to the Middle East is expected to arrive off the coast of the Israeli city of Haifa by Monday. Meanwhile, the German Foreign Office has advised its citizens in Israel to stock up on supplies and familiarize themselves with shelters in view of the escalating security situation in the region. Blake Sifton, Tel Aviv.
And then Steve Witkoff says he'll hold another round of discussions with a delegation from Ukraine. Tomorrow's meeting is set to occur in Geneva, where the U.S. Special Envoy is heading for talks with Iran.
Talks held between US, Russian and Ukrainian officials a week ago failed to break a deadlock on major issues such as territorial control of the Donbas region and security guarantees for Kyiv. While officials said those talks were difficult, the sides say they're committed to continue with negotiations.
Witkoff says the purpose of the meeting is to explore options for reaching a peace deal with Russia. The U.S. is no longer urging Americans in Mexico to shelter in place. The warning was issued after the violence erupted, of course, following a top cartel boss being killed by Mexican authorities on Sunday with assistance from U.S. intel. The State Department said public transportation and businesses are continuing to return to normal in Mexico. Mike Boyles is going down there soon, so that will continue. good news for Mike and his gang. $1 million is now being offered by the family of Nancy Guthrie as the search for her continues. Her daughter, Savannah Guthrie, posted a new video on social media and said someone out there knows how to find her mother.
I was watching. I watched that last night.
Did you?
I'm confused as to where the anger is at this point. Like
Really,
from Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
Like she comes across very defeated, very, please help at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if a family member of mine was gone, and I would be so enraged. I'd be like, I'm going to hunt you down. I will spend the rest of my life making sure you pay for what you've done to my family. And I don't see that, and it confuses me. What do you think?
Interesting. No, I'm totally confused by it. I have.
I mean,
you
24
could go
days
100
into this
different ways with this.
Yeah.
I mean, she may know everything. She may not know anything. That's when I watch it, or she may speculate and think, and then just continue on with this, with the drama. I don't know. I agree. I interrupted you. What did you say?
Oh, I want to throw something in this, and the thing for me is I can't figure out what the motivation would be to do away with mom if the family is involved. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, right.
I can't figure out what the motivation is. If it's something like inheritance and other things, it's Savannah has more money than mom. So I can't figure out. I've heard things about some questions about the family's not, again, like Erica Kirk, not grieving properly. They're not coming out properly. They're not doing this properly. I can't figure out what the motivation would be for the family to be involved on this one. But the longer it goes, the more questions you got. Also, more questions you have about all sorts of investigations. When we talk about how come they can't find the illegal immigrant criminals, they can't find the dude that stole Savannah Guthrie's mom. So it's there's some questions that are just layers and layers inside of this thing.
There are. And there's layers inside this thing. There's a spy out there sending me really bad video. Can't see it well, but it looks like Billy dancing last night.
It's just a jump to the left.
Yes. That's me. I can do that. I can jump to the left. I can step to the right. I can put my hands on my hips and bring my knees in tight. And then the pelvic. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
What was that?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
On? Yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, I did Rocky Horror Picture Show trivia last night at 2:22, and halfway through, we did a dance break. Yes. I told everybody it was familiar with it. Anybody that had done those midnight showings, anybody that is a fan, it is time to stand up. And we didn't do the whole song, but we did run through the time warp. And I was so pleased. The thing is talking to other people in the bars, we're like, yeah, we're so old now. It's so good. Such a good dance. And then there are other people in the bar like, I have no idea.
Yeah, Bill, a lot of people don't know this, but Bill does trivia.
Yeah, I host trivia.
And you can go hang out and have dance parties
you can.
and answer Ferris Bueller day off questions.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, on Tuesdays I'm at 222 Brewery, which is basically Quincy and Reservoir Road, a little bit south of there. And Thursdays I am now going to be down at Launchpad, the one on right near Alameda and Buckley. Yeah, we got an expansion of the company, and so there's another night that gentleman is going to be doing, and so now I am going to be taking over at Launchpad. So that's going to be kind of cool. So I'm there on Thursdays as well. Yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm excited. I love that place, and I love 222. So come on out, be a little silly with me, and I give you free beer if you win the game.
And you never know.
And it's free to play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll dance with it, too.
You'll dance to this.
Oh, sometimes I dance behind the DJ booth, just on my own. I've had that from bartenders, like, you're just dancing by yourself. I'm like, yeah. Just like when I was a kid.
And?
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Celtics at the Nuggets tonight in Lodo, 45 in the Springs, 44 in Denver. That's the latest. I'm Blake Olson. More of the Jeff and Bill Show ahead on News Talk 710, KNUS in Denver, and now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. This is where you hear both sides. We are the Jeff and Bill Show.
Very mild, but also very windy conditions along the I-25 corridor today from Denver to Monument Hill down into Colorado Springs and all the way down into Pueblo. We're going to be looking at really border to border, New Mexico to the Wyoming border, strong winds along I-25 as we have powerful jet stream winds streaking from the Pacific into the Rockies. Now, this has been productive overnight. The higher mountains in northern Colorado saw good snow and will see good snow through tonight. That'll help out the snowpack, but snow levels are going to be quite high due to the very mild temperatures in the 60s today. 50s and 60s tomorrow, then well into the 60s for Friday and Saturday as temperatures are going to stay well above average into the weekend. Do be ready for strong gusty winds and mostly cloudy skies. There is a slight chance of a shower tonight as some of that moisture could come off the mountains. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
$710 KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460, FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show. People making fun of me, saying I'm too pumped up, Billy, about last night's State of the Union.
I like it. I like when you're excited like this. It's a lot of fun. And it's a great balance to me, who is vastly disappointed. But it's not just because the speech last night. I don't like any of them. So it's not just a Trump thing. It's just
like
I hate
work.
those.
I
hate it.
And the funny thing was he had to do trivia last night, and then I was sitting there going, because I watched it live, and then I watched parts of the weird frog thing, and then the Ice Queen's response, and then I was done. By 10 o'clock, I was done.
Yeah.
Had analyzed everything, and Bill's out doing bar trivia, and then he's got to sit down and watch the longest State of the Union in history.
Yes. Oh, this was kind of nice, though, and I was talking to Mark Crowley behind the scenes a little bit. My son has recently got this little notepad thanks to something that Mark had turned me on to. And it's like a little business card, and it's a recording device that then processes meetings and other things in AI. And so you get these summaries. And so I had him run that last night. So after I finished the speeches and went back, and when I'm looking at different pieces, I'm referring to the AI summaries. And so I'm going through what was done. And so I'm like, okay, AI is talking about this. Let me go listen to that part again. Okay, AI is talking about this. Let me go listen to that. As far as a tool for a summarization of what was going on, it nailed it. And I was using the Claude AI, in case anyone is curious. That's the platform I was using.
There you go. Want to hear from you. What did you think of last night's State of the Union? Did you have parts that were your favorite? Did you despise Trump and see him as just virtue signaling? Were you right there with the Democrats yelling back at the TV? Give us a call, 303-696-1971, or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line, 720-819-5115. Let's go to the phone lines. Michelle, South Colorado. Good morning, Michelle. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning, Michelle.
Good morning, and y'all stay blessed. I'm in Fountain, Colorado, just outside of Fort Carson, where I was born.
Oh, wow.
And my best... Oh, and I got out there, last duty station, too. So the best ultimate moments for me were how they honored the veterans, and the victims of the illegal crime. I mean, that was over the top. It was just beautiful.
That is really cool. And, Michelle, here's the thing between you and me and Jeff and the rest of the audience, that I like those things, and there are times I think the Democrats play way too much politics with those, and the Republicans too, when it's on the other side. If some group's honoring one, the other part doesn't want to stand up. But what annoys me is I think we should take moments to honor those people and to give them recognition. But after the long string of clapping seals, that every time they hear the applause line or the little blinky sign goes up like they're on the late night show that says applause, that they stand up and they applaud, it seems to me to lose some of the gravity and importance of the moment when we've applauded absolutely every little line for the previous hour. I wish there wasn't an expectation of being a super fan in the audience, and you would save genuine emotional outbursts and gratitude for those type of situations. That's part of what annoys me in this entire thing. But I think you picked a good one. That is a really high point in the speech last night.
Well, thank you very much. And y'all take care and have a very blessed week.
Thank you, Michelle. Very
from
kind
you again.
of you. Michelle's line is open if you want to jump in, 303-696-1971, or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line, 720-819-5115. Layman in Denver. I do want to answer this because we get this often.
Yeah.
People are like, man, Bill seems to respond to text messages more than Jeff does. Bill has this amazing superpower to be able to take on a lot of stuff. In fact, he can follow 3 conversations happening in the room at the same time.
Yeah,
I don't have that. So Bill jumps in, responds to the text message. I do my best. Lyman in Denver saying, I support you, Jeff. I totally support President Trump. Also, virtue signaling or not, I think it was very good that he showed the country just how petty the left has become. The only people still ignorant enough to vote for them are the people who haven't been in the country long enough to know their behavior. There you go. All right. Let's talk Ashbaugh Center for Therapy. If pain's slowing you down, you deserve care that's focused on you, not a crowded physical therapy clinic where you bounce between clinicians. At Ashbaugh Center for Therapy, every visit is one-on-one with a licensed physical therapist in a private treatment room so you can get their full attention from start to finish. The barriers that might be keeping you from seeking help from chronic back pain, joint stiffness, or recovering from surgery are erased at Ashbaugh Center for Therapy because they do things differently. Bill, tell them about it.
Yeah, they do things differently because it is a hands-on manual therapy approach that is private and personal. I'm going to let you in a little secret. Ashbaugh Center for Therapy isn't advertising anywhere else in the Denver metro because they don't need to. They get the vast majority of their business, over 90%, based on word of mouth. Think about that. If there was a babysitter, a lawn care specialist, a handyman, maybe a restaurant or a tailor in your neighborhood, and they were getting most of their business through word of mouth, isn't that the very first place you would go? That's why we're sharing with you with Ashbaugh Center for Therapy. They like us. I'm as shocked as you are. But we're happy, and we're happy to work with them because it is a personalized experience where the average visit is 45 minutes, and you're thinking that's too long. No. This isn't a large gym type of setting. You are in a private office. It's a personal conversation with the clinician and hands-on manual therapy. They're making sure that every one of those exercises is done to 100%. And they take Medicare along with most other insurances. No rushing, no distractions. Medicare will cover a visit once every other week. So this is one of the best kept secrets in personal therapy and physical therapy if you're trying to recover from something or things just aren't feeling right in all of Denver. Reach out to Ashbaugh Center for Therapy, ashbaughpt.com, ASHBAUGH, PT.com, or simply dial 303-756-3388.
We'll continue with the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710, KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460, FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. This is where you hear both sides. We'll be right back. This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
710 KNUS in Denver.
And waking up with AM 1460, FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show where you get both sides. We're discussing the State of the Union. What did you like? What appealed to you? What did you despise? Give us a call at 303-696-1971 or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Back to the phones. Francis and Golden. Good morning, Francis.
Morning, Francis. How are you?
Hey, you guys. I've done better. I mean, you know, I went to dinner with my son and his fiancée for the first part of that speech, so then I had to play a little bit of catch up on it. Yeah. And I found myself just turning it on and off because I couldn't. It's not because it's Trump. I mean, there's a factor of that, but I had the same reaction when Biden would do this. But you know, I'm Catholic, so I got some guilt. I might even sink down to some levels of self-loathing, but even I have limits. I mean, I can't torture myself like that. It's just not worth it.
My man, another brother in the struggle. I was feeling you last night. I got that. I did too, man.
I mean, there's only so much penance you can inflict on yourself, and that really draws a limit. I find these things to be, of course, they're totally performative and stuff like that, but when you have to literally go through fact checking of every part of it and then every part of the rebuttal, what's the point in this anymore? I mean, I really don't. I don't need just somebody to tell me, you know, everything is humming along swimmingly when you can just look outside and see it isn't. It's not. But but that's what you get from either party. It doesn't matter. And so I don't know. I did like, as far as the parts, the best part. I thought it was kind of cute that Trump did use that moment to pull down the pants of the Democrats and just watch them sit on their hands when he pointed out, like, you know, who would stand for Americans as opposed to illegal immigrants, and then he kind of throws in.
Yeah, here, Francis, hang on a second. We're going to play that audio that you're referring to, just in case anybody missed it.
Yeah.
Well, and there's two things. So first is, here's Trump with the original request.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Hold on, that's the response. Here's the original one. I got that wrong. Here's the original one.
One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
So, first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, and then that goes on for like 2.5, 3 minutes of standing ovations while the Democrats sit down on that, and then this breaks out.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Francis, to your point, that is a very public spanking right there. And if the Democrats didn't recognize they just walked into a 2026 electoral trap, you do now, because that's going to be used in every advertisement against every Democrat in this country. They should have simply just stood up. What do you think, Francis?
Yes, I agree 100%, Jeff. This is a simple moment. You stand up because it's an obvious statement that you need to support. And you give him every opportunity to continue to just, it's almost like kicking somebody when they're down. He's saying ashamed and ashamed and ashamed. And then you let Ilhan Omar sit there and bark out stupidities that you're just begging for more. It's like the person, Ilhan Omar, is at that point. If I can analogize a fight, she's on the ground and she's like, "Is that all you got? Is that all you got?" And Trump just hits her again. I mean, that was what it was like.
And
it was like stepping on baby ducks.
The thing for me, Francis, is she took the bait. There's a time in which, in both debate and also in a fight, you need to understand the strategy of the other person. And if the strategy of the other person is to engage you doing X, sometimes doing Y is the best thing. If Omar would have just sat there instead of yelling things at him, and she would have just looked at him and given him the death stare and done the little golf clap, I think that's a better image. Yeah, much more effective because she is discounting Donald Trump and the attack, but she rose to the bait and took the attack. He played her masterfully.
All right, you guys want to hear what my response would have been if I was a Democrat? I want to get your I want to get your take on this, okay?
Okay.
If you're a Democrat in that situation and they go, is the first duty of the American government to protect American citizens, you stand up, you go, absolutely, and then the response would be, that includes Americans protesting in the streets. And try to pivot it to what happened to the two people that died confronting ICE agents. That becomes your ability to acknowledge what they're saying and then kind of throw it back at them as a debate tactic, Bill. That's what I would do.
I can see that.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I think that would have been
really good.
That would have been effective. I mean, you wouldn't have had a chance to obviously get it vocalized over the cheers and jeers, but you're correct, Jeff, 100%. That would have been the most effective response. The last thing you do is what Ilhan Omar did. That was just stupid. I couldn't believe she did that. But I don't think she's that bright anyway. So that's, that goes with
all right, Francis, there's some other angles here. This is the 250th birthday of America. It's semi-quincentennial. What do you think of that State of the Union connecting to the 250th birthday of America?
Well, I think it connects. It obviously connects. It was going to have to happen on a 250th birthday, and somebody was going to be in office to do it. Here's my concern. I thought part of the speech, and I think some of the stuff ties in. First of all, every time everybody yells USA, USA, stop that. It's stupid. I'm not at a sporting event, but I thought that there was a little bit of a precursor to what could be coming for midterms, and how I think the Iranian situation ties into it. I think it's clear the Republicans are going to have a bloodbath at midterms. And the only thing that I think could stop that is some sort of armed conflict with Iran, which I think is completely pointless outside of trying to save a midterm election. And that's a shame.
I do think you're right that we're coming up against a rough election year, and this is because this is Trump's 6th year of presidency, and that happened to Bush, it happened to Obama, that happens in their midway through their second term. That's pretty par for the course in America. But Trump's ability to create that moment to showcase Democrats as illegal immigrants first could be very powerful. And even Mike Johnson saying that he's going to run those ads. But go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, I think it could be very effective. And I think he was 100% on point when he's saying, these sanctuary cities and things without even offering any aid to trying to get, illegal immigrants that are criminals, which I think he should emphasize out. They're not criminal because they crossed the border. They're criminals because once here they committed crimes. That's my opinion. But you got to emphasize that because, look, it's absolutely absurd to have law enforcement not coordinate with this stuff. It makes no sense.
Francis,
and so
go ahead.
No, I think that's a soundbite that you can use. I don't think it's going to save the Republicans bacon at all because every time you play that soundbite, I'm going to see Kristi Noem doing cosplay in her role, and it's going to hurt them that much more. That's
Francis
what's gonna happen.
Golden,
Yeah, appreciate
great
that,
call. I
Francis.
appreciate it. Thank you, sir. His line's open if you want to jump in, 303-696-1971. Let's talk modern rugged leather from city streets to mountain trails. Your gear should go wherever life takes you. That's why at Modern Rugged Leather, every bag is handcrafted from premium, responsibly sourced leather, designed to look sharp, last long, and tell a story of its own. This is my go-to daily bag. It's what I put my laptop in. It's what I put my documents in, all the stuff that I go with me. So I tend to do a lot of my work planning at a local library because my kids are in school and I've got to help in the afternoon. So I'm dragging this thing to lunch. I go to the library. It's in the back of the car. It's got the kids all around. This is my go-to daily bag, and it's fantastic. Best leather bag I've ever owned. Each stitch, buckle, strap reflects timeless craftsmanship, is backed by a lifetime warranty because quality shouldn't quit when the adventure begins. Whether it's the boardroom or the back roads, Modern Rugged Leather helps you carry confidence every step of the way. Modern Rugged Leather, modern style, timeless durability, backed for life. Life's going to take you places, folks. Make sure your gear keeps up. Shop the full collection and find yours today at modernrugged.com. Again, that's modernrugged.com. We'll continue. More of the Jeff and Bill Show and your phone calls and texts to come on 710 KNUS in Denver.
And on AM 1460, FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. This is where you get to hear both sides. We've got Johnny and Larry coming up. That means one phone line is still open for you. Give us a call. We'll be right back. This is Jeff and Bill Show.
710 KNUS in Denver.
And on AM 1460, FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range. This is the Jeff and Bill Show, where you hear both sides of the issue. Let's go to the phone lines. We're talking the State of the Union. What did you think of it last night? What stood out to you? Did you watch all 1 hour and 48 minutes? The longest State of the Union in history. Let's go to Johnny in Denver. Good morning, Johnny. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Hey, good morning. I like to flip around and see what other stations are saying. And so sometimes I go to Stevie Wonder has a station out in California. And for those guys to even come close to you, they have to have 4 people, 2 guys, 2 women, but they don't go to the left or right in between. They have to stay on one side. So the main guy, Steve Harvey, he's saying that I looked at 8 minutes of it and I went to sleep because I couldn't stand any lies. What lies? Couldn't answer that. Then the lady says, he called the Democrats crazy. But what was the pretext for him saying that they were crazy? And so I come back over to you guys, and then I get like a wider picture of it. But I understand, like on the urban station, they have to stay in that Democratic lane because if they go off, then they get canceled or something crazy like that. Even though his audience is an older audience and they're more conservative, but they can't admit that without, getting in trouble. The best thing I liked about the last night was, and this is before you guys were born, there was a toy that came out that it was for girls, and you pull the door open and the mystery guy would be there, and either he would be a handsome guy or it'd be like a bum.
Wasn't that a game? Yeah, this was sort of a game where, for a marriage one, I do remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so when I heard like Trump, like at this door, this person comes out, this door, the team came out, and that reminded me of that game. And that's the part that I like the most.
That is fantastic.
It is fun to see how the administrations highlight different people, who they bring in, the story they're trying to tell, how it all weaves together. The hockey boys coming out and having all that fun. Now, Johnny, there was some performative stuff beforehand. Al Green got escorted out. He was holding a sign that said, "Black people aren't apes." What did you think of that?
I think him representing black people is like a misnomer. I think he represents more of the nuttier side, and I just can't go with him because he just sounds like a nut, and he doesn't. It's just not very hard for him to sound like a nut, And I know he's passionate in what he believes, but I don't know. I just can't go with that.
I'm not sure.
How.
Please.
No, I just know how that got dropped into that video, and that it was somebody was trolling Trump and it was saying all kinds of good things so he could catch him at that time, and it happens. So.
Yeah, and I think intent matters. I don't think Trump intended to do that, but I also don't think Al Green's message quite landed maybe the way that he was hoping for.
Yeah. But I want to throw something in this conversation that I saw in the last 24 hours. It kind of made me pause a little bit to go back to that Trump video. And when Al Green had that sign up, it made me think about it. And it's something I saw the last 72 hours or so. It's a kid that's riding the bus with his friends, black kids riding the bus, and I think it's in Philly. And there's a woman that is several rows behind them in the back corner of the bus. And all of a sudden you hear something going on. And it's monkey sounds. It's the woo, 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 woo. They turn around. She is holding up her phone, and she has videos of monkeys playing in a loop. And she's not making eye contact with the kids. She's just pointing it to them. Now, when the video stops, she turns it back to her. She restarts it. And there's no conversation between the two of them. But the implication that the black kids are feeling is very clear as far as the message that's being sent. I was brought back to Trump's video. I'm not saying that was Trump's intent. I'm not even saying that he saw it long enough to hear it. But part of the thing that made me think about going back to that moment with the kids on the bus is, does anybody that supports Trump see that video from Trump and then say, well, obviously, then it's okay for me to sit on the bus and show these kids that kind of video too.
Was that an actual video? That was okay.
Social media. Yeah, and it was a video of, and it was a loop of monkeys. Again, it's the impression of the kids. I'm not saying Trump is directly involved or anything else, and nor did he tell anybody to. But I'm wondering if that's why she connected those dots or gave her permission to do it in public. I'm still not even convinced Trump watched the thing all the way to the end, because I don't think he has that kind of attention span. So I'm not sitting here saying he did it on purpose. I'm just saying I don't know.
What do you think, Johnny?
Well, I think, like I said, the new staff member or the old one is going to have to look through the whole videos now. Now they can't do what Trump is doing. They can't say, well, he looked at that for 30 seconds, so I'm going to only look at it for 30 seconds. They have to now be more diligent, because people are looking for ways to troll Trump, and they know that if we give him a bunch of compliments, he thinks that we're on the side, and then they can drop something in like that. So
yeah,
Johnny, Denver, sure appreciate your perspective. Thank you. Let's talk advanced hair restoration. By the way, Trump's hair looked great last night. If you're losing your hair and desire to have it back, then Advanced Hair Restoration has the easiest guaranteed solution. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results. I've seen it with my own eyes. Guys, it's not magic, but close to it. They put hair where you need it the most, and bam, it grows. It's actually science. Advanced Hair has it all. Top-rated Dr. Tanya Paul's modern technology. And best of all, you get your own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day. Advanced Hair even guarantees it will grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now, 720-459-HAIR. If you qualify, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Advanced Hair is the winner of Westward's Best of Denver and has changed the lives of tens of thousands of people. So don't wait. Check out the before and afters online for yourself, 720-459-HAIR, 720-459-HAIR, or visit advancedhair.com, advancedhair.com. All right, the debates will continue. We want you to be a part of it. Last night's historic State of the Union, 1 hour, 48 minutes, the 250th birthday of America. Did Donald Trump land the plane well? Did he connect with the audience? Did he help advance an agenda? Or did you just sit there with a scowl on your face, yelling at the TV the same way the Democrats did, Ilhan Omar and the rest of them? Give us a call, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. More of the Jeff and Bill Show to come, 710 KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460, FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. This is the Jeff and Bill Show. We'll be right back.